I want to be recorded. But welcome everyone. This is our session about a watermelon cake, and we are not going to use the oven. So a lot of you, if you know anything about me, I'm a dietitian by profession, but while I enjoy cooking, I just don't have the baking talent. It skipped me. It went past me. But I'm always looking for a dessert that can be creative and fun. And this was a trend that came up on the internet last year or so. And I made it for Mother's Day last year. And till now, I've been making it several times. Like, it's my go-to thing to make if I have, especially if I have to take fruit or like a fun, a dessert-like item. And there is no perfect way to make it. It's very forgiving, very easy. And during the summertime, melons and berries are in season. So it's perfect, it's refreshing, it's hydrating. If Ramadan came during the summer months, I think it would be a great Ramadan recipe as well. As we go through it today, we're going to learn about a lot of the facts about watermelons. I'll plug in some interesting things. So first, to get started, watermelons can be messy. I'm gonna wear my Sister Hakika gave me this really cute apron, so I'm gonna wear that. I need to use it for once. Okay, so let's get started. In terms of what we need, I'm gonna show you my board. Okay, here we go. So, of course, a watermelon. I know it looks big. It's good to get a medium size rather than a small one because, sometimes there could be a margin of error when you're chopping and cutting it down to a cake. These are the ingredients. The other things you will need is grapes. You can choose purple grapes or green grapes, blueberries, blackberries. I just have blackberries, some mint, and of course, strawberries. You can get even more creative with kiwi fruit and whatnot. And I will use some toothpicks, lots of toothpicks. Okay, and then in the store sometimes you will find sandwich picks, which are a little larger than toothpicks. So these are always helpful to have. So I got these that we will be using today. And that's it. We're going to get started. Picture with myself. So if everyone can see my screen, are we good? We can get started, right? Okay. Sure you guys see it. Okay. So number one thing, the watermelon. You're going to try to make it flat. I've never done a live cooking class, so here we go. I hope I don't mess up. But anyways, the top and bottom, we're trying to make it nice and flat. But imagine it as a cake, right? So we want it nice and flat and smooth. Okay, now it's able to stand by itself. Okay, it's very easy, guys, trust me. So I've used something like a nice large knife is a good idea. This one happens to have watermelons drawn on it, and some smaller knives are always good to have around. So what we're trying to do is we're going to get rid of the rind in as smooth a fashion as we can. Now the goal is we want it to be nice and flat. At the same time, we don't want the rind showing. So I'm just trying to take out the rind as much as possible, and then I'll work my way into it. And some of you who want to get even more creative, I'll show you other modifications of how to make this work. And the cool thing about watermelons is that nothing can get wasted. If you have like leftover scraps or whatever, you can just enjoy them with your family. Okay. Now, this watermelon is not super, super red inside, but the more colorful and red and ripe it is, it looks pretty for sure.
Did you thump your watermelon to pick it?
The person who picked it up from the grocery store was instructed to do it. So hopefully,
it's not very ripe.
It's not very ripe. You didn't do a good job. Okay. It's okay.
But does look inviting. Don't worry.
Okay, it looks inviting. I like the positivity. All right, so I'm gonna flip it around to make sure I get rid of all the green parts or portions. I made this several times and every time it looks different. So like I said, be very forgiving on yourself of how this will look like. Yeah, just getting rid of green portions. And when you guys make these, please send me pictures. I would love to see your creations because like I said, you can get very creative. And nowadays, a lot of cakes, if you notice, even the cakes that the baked cakes I'm referring to, they're very tall these days. So don't worry if it's very tall looking. What I do is I try to have like a bowl next to me or a plate. I'm going to put my leftover or excess watermelon. That's going to happen in a minute. Okay, so you can see it looks like just whatever big ball. So now my goal is to make it nice and smooth on all ends so that it looks like a cake. So first thing I'm going to do, and this is going to scare you guys, don't worry. I'm going to be making it nice and smooth. Okay, so let's give me a starting point right now. And then the top, I'm going to make it nice and flat at the biggest, largest, flattest part. And having a big knife like this, you can see I'm just going around so it looks like a smooth. Do you see how smooth? It's getting smoother and smoother. I might cut a little more of the top. All the leftover stuff goes back in your tummy. Don't worry, it's not getting wasted. That's the beauty of watermelon. Every part can be used. Did you know that watermelons are completely 100% edible, meaning even the rind in some parts of the world, they cook it. So I'm going around with my big knife to kind of smooth it. So all my watermelon is getting the shape of a cake, if you see. And again, it's not perfect, don't worry.
Looks good anyway.
Yeah, it looks good, right? I might cut a little bit of the bottom too, because I feel like the bottom is too tiny. I might cut a little bit of that. Like I said, it's better to start with a bigger watermelon. Always. And this is good for me to know, since we are doing this live, how long it takes. It doesn't take that long. On the morning of your party or gathering, if you're taking it for a potluck, you can take it. I mean, you can make it and put it in the fridge, but I wouldn't make it the day before. It's taking shape. I love making watermelon. I love making watermelon juice also. So I usually will blend the remainder and so you see it looks like a cake for the most part. It's not perfect.
Okay. If we're gonna make this, how about you make the cake? Watermelon part of the cake. Oh, we'll see. Inshallah, that's a good idea.
Okay. So you can see it's looking. Oh, somebody's getting a call. All right. This knife really does make a difference. So having something long like this will be crucial because
Where did you buy that knife? Good looking.
this one is from Costco. I had bought it a while ago, but anytime, I mean, if you have a kitchen set, I think they usually have the fruit cutting knives with those edges.
Oh, okay. Good idea.
Usually they're in every cooking set. So I think this looks pretty good. Let's see, I'm just making sure my creation is perfect. Obviously, you want to make sure you have washed your watermelon before. Okay. All right. Now let me put this aside. Okay, so everyone, you see it's not that hard. It was pretty easy, and you'll see this come together in a bit. Okay, I'm gonna put this aside on a plate. I'm gonna rinse my So a nice ceramic plate really makes a difference. So it's ready. You see how it looks? I didn't have to bake it. I didn't touch the oven. I'm just here on my counter. Now I'm gonna get all my toppings next to me. And this is where I get creative. So I'll take a strawberry. I usually like taking a strawberry. I cut it in half. I don't mind leaving the leaves because I feel leaves, the green color looks really nice. So I'm gonna find a focal point. Let's see, what's a nice red? This is a nice red portion. Yeah, this looks nice and red. So I will take some toothpicks. So I like to go a little, again, no one perfect way. I'm just taking a toothpick and making it stand like that. Same thing. I'm going to cut another strawberry. And if I wanted to make it a 2-tier cake, I could have taken a baby watermelon, cut it on top and put it here, and I could take a barbecue skewer to hold it in place because those are nice and tall. Two. Okay, so you can see. And I'm trying to do all my strawberries first. And then I'll move on to the next fruit. One thing I love is color. So the more color you can bring in, I didn't do kiwis today, but you could potentially. I think that would need another one. Make sure you don't eat the fruit with the toothpick in. That would be fine. So usually what I do is for serving, like we'll have it out on display and then one person, I go in and I cut it all up and I make it like a big fruit display once it's been cut up. So if you're using it for like a special occasion, birthday or something, you do an official cutting ceremony and then one person goes in and you just cut it all up like a fruit display and people can pick on the fruit. Okay, so those are my watermelons. Watch it transform with a color. So let's start from the top with a berry, blackberries. I have blackberries. Blueberries look good too. I just don't happen to have them with me. So I'm just filling in the gaps with blackberries. And you can see I'm not super creative with the design. I know people who are very artsy can go really, really creative, but I'm just doing the best I can. Lots of toothpicks, very economical, very affordable, and good looking. You'll be the talk of the party. Trust me. Everyone's like, who made that watermelon cake? And and it's healthy. So you get the prize of being one of the most healthiest contributions to the party. Whatever
I like
party.
how it's going on a slant instead of just vertical. That's pretty.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, definitely. And what I do is sometimes, because I don't like wasting fruit, I will be putting the bottom, you'll see in a bit. I'll fill up the bottom. Oh, I think it needs a little. It's hard for me to see. Okay, there you go. Okay. And now comes the beautiful, beautiful green color with the grapes. I've been wanting to do this in person, but I think given it's an online class, you guys get to see it, and then I'm recording it so you can always watch it whenever you want. And maybe for our red, white, and blue potluck, if people are creative, they can make a watermelon cake. And you know, blueberries can be the blue. You can get creative with it. There's a whole bunch of ways to do it. I'm going to use a big one. I'm doing a little 3D with it. You guys are so quiet.
We're ready to eat now.
Is your mouth okay? So some fun things while I'm doing this, some fun things about watermelon to know is that they are almost 92% water and 8% sugar. Very hydrating. So during the summer, and it could be frozen, it could be eaten fresh or whatnot. So the last most important, I think we need more on the top. Let me get more. They're very rich in vitamin C, vitamin A, and what else? I'm trying to remember. Potassium. And they are from the gourd family. So they come from the family of squash and cucumbers. And there's a big debate if it's a fruit or a vegetable. Like botanically, it's a fruit because it comes from a seed, has seeds, but it is technically, because it comes from the pumpkin family and the gourd family, it is also can be culinary purposes, it can be seen as a vegetable. So I'm not getting into fruit and vegetable debates, but anyhow. All right, so for the most part it's done here. I'm going to add a little bit of green with some twigs of mint. And again, I'm going to use my toothpicks. And in terms of health, it helps reduce your blood pressure. It helps improve your metabolic health and decreased muscle soreness after exercise. It's very good to have right after working out because of the hydration and potassium in it. Sure, it looks nice and pretty. You want your mint super fresh and very perky looking, because that will make a huge difference. Get more. And recently, watermelons have been given a lot of attention with what's going on in the different parts of the world, in Palestine especially. Does anybody know why?
It lasts longer and it's good food. Water.
Well, actually, the reason why you will see a lot of watermelon with with what's going on in Palestine is because when they were trying to, I guess, fight against the other counterpart, Israel, they were not allowed or censored when they used their flag. So instead, artists started using watermelon because all the colors in the watermelon are, from the flag colors of Palestine. So it's actually used as a mark of resistance. That's a cool fact right there for you.
Good idea.
Okay, what do you think, guys? Does it look pretty yet?
Looking nice.
It looks nice.
Lovely.
My mouth is watering. I cannot talk.
Zainab, I'm coming for a smoothie.
I know. What should I do with this cake, you guys? Now I have this. So what I do?
Bring it on Wednesday. Bring it on Wednesday, so we can all.
I hope it lasts till then. So what I do now, I mean, again, it should. Let me make sure it should be super, super. I think it needs some more color, you guys. This is too much black going on here. I'll put some more grapes. So let me make sure we have. Okay, I think that's it. So what I do with the leftovers, you guys, I'm very big on saving or not wasting. So I just use my grapes or my strawberries. I always just like put some in the front. It looks very nice. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It just creates a sense. And I'll put a proper picture in the group chat after this class is done to kind of show you how it looks like.
That looks great.
Yes.
Let me bring it up.
Looking
Enough
very nice.
decoration now. Time to
Very
eat.
good.
Very creative.
Beautiful.
Very creative, right? And like I
Very
said,
Beautiful.
you can be the talk of the next potluck. If you do it, everyone's gonna be like, oh my goodness. And you saw it literally took like less than $20 worth of ingredients, just toothpicks. And even if you don't have the big picks from the grocery store, these are sandwich picks. That's fine. You can just use regular toothpicks. And you can use kiwi, blueberries. I didn't have those today, but you can use those fruits. And then all this leftover stuff that I have, I'm gonna just juice it up. And I make this really yummy drink for the summer. If you guys, don't tell anyone I told you, but you can use ruh afza, like a little dash of ruh afza or honey, and a little bit of lemon, and you can put sparkling water, and it makes like a watermelon refresher drink. So the ruh afza just adds a little bit of the sugary syrup. You don't have to use much, like probably a teaspoon or so. So I blend it up. I put a little bit of ruh afza and the lemon, fresh lemon, and blend it up, and it makes the most amazing drink. And if you put sparkling water on top, it creates that fizz that some of you crave. Or you can use other types of like 7-Up or Sprite or something like that on top as well. But it creates for a very refreshing drink. I mean, obviously you want to avoid other sugary stuff, but just a thought, like the sparkling water is the easiest, healthiest. It has no like sugary, content in it. So this is, come over.
wow. That's so nice.
So in the past, what I've done is I've made a sign on top and I put it on a toothpick, like, whatever occasion you're celebrating, if it's Ramadan or it's a birthday or Mother's Day, I've done that. And you just, you pick on it. And like I said, if I were to have a smaller watermelon, I'll show you a picture. I want to show you this because it really helps
Zainab,
you.
how do you slice it like a cake? How do you slice it?
Oh, okay. So good question. So right when it's ready to serve, I just cut it. I go in with my big knife and I cut like cubes and have it like a food display. And people then just come and get rid of the toothpicks because obviously we don't want people getting hurt with the toothpicks. So the person who made the cake, I would suggest you either have a bigger platter ready with you so that it becomes like a cut up food display that people just eat from. So once you're done showing off, and showing everyone what you have created, your creation. But let me show you really quickly what like if you want to go fancy, like the gourmet people. I'm not that fancy, but you can
Yeah,
do
I use the cookie cutter, the big 6 and 8 inches cookie cutter, and then I take 2 tiers out, and then like a 2-tier cake.
Yeah, so
That is
sometimes
fun
you
for-
can Google watermelon cake if you are not very creative with like see over here there's raspberries also. I didn't use raspberries. You can just copy something like this on the internet and just follow along, and it makes a difference as well. And this is like, I guess if you're taking it to a summer wedding or something, or a big summer bash, if you have a lot of guests, if you're expecting a lot of guests. But this size that I made today is good enough for a small family gathering of friends and whatnot. And like I said, you're using a whole watermelon. Instead of just taking a cut of watermelon, get creative like this and take it with you and show off. Why not, you guys? Why not?
Yes. That looks very good.
pretty.
You should patent it.
Oh,
Get a patent.
I wish. It's too late, honey uncle. But I know we ended a little early. I wanted to thank everyone again for being here today. And I hope you enjoyed this. It was a fun exercise. And like I said, I mentioned a whole bunch of classes. Let me see. There's some questions in the chat. Let me make sure I missed. Oh, everyone's saying good and yummy. I know. Come over, you guys. Come over. Maybe I'll bring it for the red, white, and blue potluck. Maybe I'll bring it because I think it goes with the theme, with the colors. So I'll bring it that day when we do it. But anybody else have any creative ways they use watermelon? This is a good time to talk about watermelons. One thing,
Zainab,
yes, yes.
this is Manaz. Whenever I go and pick watermelon, I always see the brown check mark, and somebody told me that is the bee sting mark. So that whenever I pick and I see that brown check mark and I cut it, it always comes out very sweet.
Okay.
Yeah. Instead
okay, I've
of
never heard that.
tapping and hearing the noise, then buying it. So that's how I buy watermelon. And also when I make a juice, I add ginger and a little bit black pepper in it.
See, look at that recipe. I'm loving it. Ginger and black pepper.
Yeah.
Healthy stuff.
That's another way of, that's a cool way of bringing it in. And maybe you can even put a little bit of salt, I'm guessing, because it could be an electrolyte, right? It could be made into an electrolyte hydrating drink. Because you guys,
I do put salt in it.
Perfect. Because the older we get, we may not know, our sense of thirst goes away. So by the time you're feeling thirsty, you're already dehydrated. And watermelon, I think, like I said, leftover watermelon will never go away. So you can make a juice, you can make a popsicle, you can make anything you want. And when I usually go for picnics or parks, I will cut it with the rind, like triangles, so people can just pick up and eat. So that way, you're not using a bowl to unnecessarily use a fork and a bowl. So you're avoiding waste, unnecessary waste. For my Daisy Olivers, you can make a watermelon chaat. Have you ever made that?
No.
So what you could put is you can put chaat masala, which is again, and then you can put something crunchy, like some kind of like the papri
like the kala namak, the black salt.
You can put probably salt and a little bit of pepper, and you can put crunchy.
People sprinkle salt over the
right, like the puffed rice or the crunchy things, the things that you put like save and stuff like that. You put it in there. The one thing I'll tell you with chaat, you have to make it right when you're ready to serve it, because what happens is that when you put those crunchy things, they get soggy. really quick. So, or you have it on the side as a topping if you're planning to serve it in a few hours. So have crunchy things on the side. It makes for, again, a great way, because usually I've noticed with a lot of the South Asian food spreads, we usually super cook our vegetables. There's very few fresh ingredients. Usually, if anything, it's onions and cilantro or something like that. So if you want to make a watermelon chaat, I've done that in the past for like a dolki party. And it's a big hit too, because it's refreshing and the crunch really makes a difference. You want something crunchy with it too. Any other recipes for watermelon?
I once made
Okay, let's go one at a time. Shamim, go ahead first.
I have a tip for a sweeter watermelon. Cut and put it in the refrigerator. A lot of water will drain in the bowl, and the watermelon turns very sweet.
Yeah.
Oh,
the sugar content increases, and then it's much sweeter. I usually do it when I don't have a very sweet watermelon.
Really?
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. I've never heard of that before. I learned something.
I have also observed that.
Anybody else?
What
Yes.
What are you doing on Wednesday?
Somebody is trying to speak up. Go ahead.
Yes. You can also make ice cubes.
One at a time. One at a time. Go ahead.
You can also make ice cubes out of them, out of the water.
Oh, this is Sister Zakia. Ice cubes. Yes. That's correct. You can. Yes. It's a great popsicle. So if you can use a popsicle tray or an ice cube tray, that's great.
Yeah.
And you can put that when you're making the fresh drink, you just put those ice cubes
in it.
Right? That's a great idea. I love it.
Yes.
Anything else? One more person was trying to speak.
I was saying that once I made a watermelon cake, so I used 3 layers, one honeydew melon and one of cantaloupe, and the base was watermelon, and then decorated it with berries and all other things, and it came out
Did
good.
you take a picture, Mumtaz Auntie?
No.
It possibly was looking like a Hawaiian cake, because it's reminding me of a Hawaiian color theme. Femida, go ahead. I know you
want from the white part of the rind, not the green, the white part, I have made sabzi, vegetables. You just cook, you put onion, tomatoes, and just chop them or grate them or cut into small chunks. And it's a very delicious sabzi. Yeah, from the white part.
The white part. So have you considered using the green part though? Because I've heard
the green, you can cut it off. You can cut you are cutting the white and the green both, right? So just take the white part out.
Oh, because what we're hearing is the green part is edible. It just needs to be cooked. So I'm wondering if next time, maybe
done that.
Yeah, but, maybe next time try it.
Yes.
And tell us how it works out.
I
because
always
it's
make
edible.
it when the rind is very thick. That's what I do.
That's a great idea. I love it. I love it.
Zainab, the green rind, I have eaten it because somebody used to make chips out of it.
Okay. Yeah. I know people pickle it too. In some cultures, they pickle it too. But you've eaten it fresh without cooking it, you're saying?
No, not fresh. You have to fry them.
You fry them, like in an air fryer maybe?
Yeah, now we can do with air fryer. But back home, I had it deep fry.
Interesting. And how many of you, we should do, now I'm thinking we should do something with mangoes.
Oh, love that.
Mango season.
Mango.
I know, it's my favorite fruit, because I think with mangoes too, you can get all creative, right? Like all sorts of things you can make. Ice cream, you can make shakes, you can make desserts, you can make anything. Or I'm sure. And one thing I learned, you guys, with my degree was, and we may not realize this all the time, but always mix different colors, contrasting colors. Like for example, when you are making your menu, now with watermelon, you saw the red goes really well with the green, the black, it goes, and the blue, it really stands out. It brings the red even more. Even though my watermelon wasn't that red, like super red, you saw once the other colors were added to it, it looked very enhanced and really delicious and juicy. So even when you're planning your menu for your meals, right? Like if you have white rice or chapatis, have something green, have something red, have something yellow. Don't make 2 dishes that look red. Or, you know, it's a contrast, because it really, there's a whole science behind, it's called, I think it's called gastronomy or something like that, but it's basically the optics. So I work at an Alzheimer's daycare, and over there they have red plates, and they say that red plates enhances your appetite. So that's why maybe you guys are looking at that watermelon and feeling hungry. So it means there's some truth to it. So color really makes a difference. And you may or may not realize it, but it's a thing. So at our daycare, all the plates are red, because people are sometimes, when they are having dementia, they forget about eating, or their appetite may not be the greatest. Some of them have a really good appetite, but some of them, they need to be constantly reinforced and reminded to eat. So anyways, just a thought over
Guys,
there.
do you know this story, about watermelon? That I don't know, does it happen in America? But they inject either color or some sweet syrup inside the watermelon to make it sweet and red. That's a very common. Everybody says that you don't eat watermelon because they inject
That's true in
color
India.
and some red syrup into it. So many people are avoiding taking fruit this time. Even the bananas are, they are ripened by putting some sort of chemical or something to so that they become they ripen fast. So that is why people have started, like saying, "Oh, don't eat fruit these days," and they are putting this color into the watermelon.
Yeah, unfortunately. But one thing I learned that I didn't know was that seed and seedless watermelons are just 2 varieties of watermelon. It's not like a genetically modified type. It's just a different. Seedless watermelons are a thing, and even seeded ones. Zakia, you have your hand up. Sister Zakia, go ahead.
Yes, I was wondering why, was there a reason why you turned the strawberries, show the inside of the, when you
Just for the color. Just for the color.
Okay. All right. Okay, I was wondering if there was a special reason.
Keep watching it. It's there. Yeah, it's just for the color and the optics. Honestly, no big reason. It's just because there's already a lot of red happening with the watermelon. The inside kind of brings. So when I'm doing my red, white, and blue, that's my white. That's my white.
Thank you.
Right? Okay. All right. If anybody does not have thoughts, any remainder thoughts, we can wrap up. I hope you enjoyed today. I enjoyed preparing this class for you guys. And like I said, this coming Wednesday, we're going to be making Kumi Himo bracelets. And it's a type, and this is something that I guess is the theme of the month, is making friends. When we were kids and teenagers, we would have friendship bracelets, right? You're my friend. So imagine us making something for Olive and giving it to a friend that we made at Olive, like a friendship. And the instructor who's coming, she is a statistics and a mathematics expert, and she does this as a volunteer at different senior centers. So that's her giving back to the community. I hope you take the opportunity and come, bring your grandkids if they're available. I know a lot of you are already signed up. I know Sister Hakika is coming, and a few young volunteers have signed up to come. So I'm really looking forward to this class. So I'll be putting the poll on WhatsApp. And if you're in Upland, I know Menaz and Fahmida, you're my Upland Olivers. We are doing a session on superfoods with Ruhi Ahmed. So you are going to learn about certain foods that are more nutritionally dense, and you're doing a summer potluck. So you're asked to bring different salads and different sandwiches. We did that in our Anaheim program. It was a big success. So you have that opportunity on Sunday, on the 14th of July. So I hope each and every one of you are really looking at that calendar. I send it in the emails. It's on our website. There's no reason for you not to miss all the great programming happening this month. And Hidden Figures, order that book today so that you are ready to go. And any questions in regards to that?
Are we
Do
allowed
we
to?
pay ahead of time?
Are we allowed to
Zainab?
come? Today?
Everything, I prefer you guys just come to the sessions and bring cash. If you don't have cash with you,
Okay.
then we'll come
Okay.
and look into other options. But
Okay.
my preference is cash, just so that it's less.
Okay.
It's all $5, so it's very reasonably priced, just for
Uh-huh.
the threads and the whatever. She's bringing all the supplies, so I don't know exactly
Okay.
what it is. But
Are
anywho, yes,
the
go
men,
ahead.
are the men allowed in that?
Of
Oh,
course.
yes.
I hope.
Danny, uncle, you know that. You know that. And if you're coming, we will get the word out. We want more men. Listen, don't get me started. All things are for men and women. Okay, so just because it's a crafting thing, it doesn't mean that it's for. And like I said, it's using your fingers. So it's an exercise for your fingers. If you have any form of arthritis or whatnot, it's great to move your fingers around. You know, you don't want neuropathy or whatever. You should be using your fingers for different things. Just like zeal is making you write with your left hands. Everything has a purpose. Trust me. Even if it's beading, even if it's making French, and then Gani uncle, make sure that you come and bring a friend with you, so you'll have friendship bracelets for each of your friends. You know.
Oh, do that.
Yeah. And yeah, that's about it. All right, thank you, everyone. I know we love these Monday sessions. It's back to work. Make that
Right.
menu. I'll enjoy this watermelon cake with my family. But anywho, I will bring
We are
it one
your
of the
family
days.
too.
Huh?
We are your
Thank
family
you.
too.
Yes, come
Right.
over.
Thanks, Zainab.
Yes, of
Thank
course.
you very
And
much.
Ismat, it was so nice seeing you, Ismat auntie. All
Yeah,
the
I
way
did
from
say salams
Kashmir.
to
We are
Tunisia.
international today. International.
It's almost it's past midnight here.
Oh my goodness. Go to bed, my friend.
And no, I have missed. I have to offer my Isha. I didn't do that because I will miss this one. I will miss my
Oh, okay. Okay.
Zoom
And it's good
class.
to see. I see so many sisters. Zakia, Sister Nahi. There's two iPhones. I don't know who the two iPhones are. I see Mehnaz, Mumtaz, Gulrez. I want to see all of you guys in person. Nigar auntie, you're going to be doing a session in a few weeks. I'm so excited for that too.
I
Sajida.
switched my camera because I don't have my denture on. I developed a crack, so I have repair.
Oh.
It might take a day or two. That's why I missed.
We're
Next
there.
time,
We're praying
inshallah.
for you. Thank you
Yeah,
for
I'm doing like
sharing.
this.
But yes, thank you for attending
Just
all the
covered
way
my
from
mouth.
India at midnight. That's true commitment right there. All right, everyone. Bye bye. We'll see you
Assalamu
Wednesday
alaikum.
or Sunday or
Love
another day.
it.
Take
Olive Community Services is a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Southern California that provides culturally appropriate services to seniors, their family, and the community. Through its physical and virtual interactive programs, Olive engages participants in a variety of ways that promotes health and well-being. To learn more about Olive Community Services, to get involved, or to make a donation, please visit www.olivecs.org or email info@olivecs.org. Be a change maker, and together, let's live, learn, and thrive.